Good morning, everyone. Today I wanted to talk about this tree which is found in abundance in the wild in this region. This is a wild pomegranate tree. I had been meaning to talk about this tree since winters, but I was waiting for the fruit to come out, so I had to wait few months. And now we are in summer, so I can show you this fruit. These scenes here, these are from late winters and these are the buds forming on this tree in these scenes here. In the native regional language, which is Pahadi, this particular wild pomegranate variety is called Dadu and in Hindi it's called Anar. Now this tree, well, as the name suggests, it's a pomegranate tree, but this variety it grows out in the wild by itself. Often in forests or at the sides of roads or any random trails, almost every place you'll find these trees growing. And because it's so easy to self sow, meaning as the birds carry its seeds so easily, and as these seeds fall on the ground, and then these trees start sprouting there by itself. So, this tree is found in huge numbers in this region. This is the pomegranate flower. Look how beautiful it looks. It's such an enchanting view, isn't it? So gorgeous. So beautiful, really. Amazing, really so beautiful. This tree is a valuable addition to the permaculture system in this state due to its adaptability, high nutritional value, and potential for income generation, especially in rural areas. It thrives in the state's mid-hill region, tolerating drought and frost. This is a deciduous perennial shrub or tree that can grow up to 16 to 1700 meters above sea level. Now in these scenes we are in the middle of summer season, so you can see the flowers have converted to pomegranate and tiny fruit has started appearing. This pomegranate variety, the fruit is much smaller than the ones that are commercially available in the market. I think these might be around half the size of the ones available in market and sometimes even smaller. And well, the taste of these pomegranates, it's not so sweet. Initially, when the fruit is growing, it'll be very tangy. When we were kids, we used to love eating these tangy pomegranates. And then as the fruit matures and ripens, it will start turning a bit sweeter. And then at full growth, it'll just be moderately sweet with no tanginess. So actually the perfect taste for birds, especially because birds don't really like very sharp flavors, right? Be it very sweet or very sour. And the pomegranate seeds, the ones that we eat inside the fruit, those will be white to pinkish color in this tree. It won't be bright red because I think as this fruit does not grow so large, so the seeds also mature only so much accordingly. And the seeds also won't be too juicy, just so moderately soft. Actually, the perfect food for birds, like I said, and squirrels too, and other small animals. Perfect food for even bees and other pollinators. And the best part is that its seed is very easy to spread across the region and just grow by itself. This tree is extremely low to almost no maintenance at all. Not at all any special requirements required for growing. In fact, it's a very sturdy tree and it's able to withstand very harsh snowy winters here. And similarly, in the summer months, when we don't get rains for like 3 4 months till the monsoon season, that time it can easily withstand low water availability as well. Look at the size of this tree. It was a very wide tree, like 25 to 30 feet wide and at least 10 to 15 feet tall. And it will continue giving fruit, so it's not like it will dry up or anything, not at all. So it's actually an excellent tree to have in your permaculture garden. I cannot recommend it enough, really. In these scenes, we are in the summer months. Look at all these pomegranate growth on this tree. These will still increase in size as summer progresses. And like I said, this fruit is edible to both animals and humans. In fact, these magnificent bright red flowers are so attractive for the pollinators. This fruit is very refreshing for humans in summers, especially because if you don't like very sweet fruit, this will be excellent for you. And this tree has a very deep and tight root structure, which is extremely good for this region because this is a mountainous terrain, right? So its roots help in keeping the soil bound up. In fact, we often find these small baby trees growing everywhere, really, at the side of pathways or small hillocks and all. So that is good because it helps to keep the soil intact and bound up and prevent landslides. And this tree will grow huge and tall, and the fruit will grow on mid to top branches, and underneath this tree it's all clean, so you can grow anything underneath this tree, like some seasonable vegetables, like green leafy vegetables especially, which require indirect sunlight, or seasonal fruits and vegetables, or even any kind of climber plants or flowers. This tree will be excellent to provide support. Or else, if nothing else, then the bottom of this tree is a good spot for growing perennial plants. Just look at how beautiful the trunk of this tree is. Actually, I think the bottom of this tree is an ideal spot for having sort of a picnic because you can have a swing attached to its branches, or else couple of chairs and a small table, and create a cozy natural sitting area in the forest underneath this tree. My mind is like showing me all these images and scenes of what all I can do if I have it growing in my forest. See, we humans, we think that we are the best and that nature needs our assistance to flourish, which is wrong. I think it is we who need to take guidance from nature and learn how to coexist and live in harmony together. I think everything can grow with everything. You just gotta have some patience and let it take roots. Don't rush, just give it some time. Slow and steady, exactly how my life has been so far. Look at this bark, it's absolutely clean and smooth and plain. Such a pretty, well growing tree and simply out in the wild. And this plant has been traditionally used for its medicinal properties, offering benefits like antioxidant and anti inflammatory effects. In fact, it is an excellent source of vitamin C and K and potassium. As a matter of fact, a single large pomegranate has more than 40% of your daily requirement of vitamin C. Now that's wow. I hope you're looking at the canopy of this tree. It's so amazing. I love capturing canopy shots. I have a video titled The Trees Are Talking for I'm Their Secret Keeper. It's in my Wandering Wild Nature Walks and Hikes playlist. If you want, you can have a look at that video. I had the most magical time filming that video. It was truly magic. Absolutely beautiful. An experience to remember for a lifetime for me, really. Although I haven't been to too many places because I get anxiety when too many people are around. I like lonely places. So, but that was definitely one of the most memorable hikes that I've had. The pomegranate fruit, you can directly have it as a fruit, or you can also drink its juice, which is a great source for cleansing your blood. A simple to use juicer can easily get the juice out of pomegranates in case you are not a fan of removing the seeds. It can also be turned into wine, tea, sauce, jams, spreads, spices. How can I forget that? Especially the spices made from this fruit are used heavily in pickles. And in general, this fruit can be used or cooked into an infinite variety of dishes or even used as a dried fruit. This is also very, very popular in salads. I actually didn't know, and I found it during my research that its wood is very, very hard. So, commercially, this tree is sometimes even cultivated for its timber. In fact, in the olden days, the bark of this tree was used for curing leather. What an interesting factoid, isn't it? Sometimes this plant is grown in miniature form solely for its aesthetic purposes, cause its fruit and even its leaves are so beautiful. And oh, I almost forgot. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned it right at the beginning that this plant is native to this region. I think that is why, if you go out in the wild or simply outside, quite literally, you'll see that at every 10 meters or so, this plant is visible and it's so everywhere. And most importantly, constantly you will see new baby trees popping up every year. I think that is because the pollinators keep on dropping the seeds all around. So even if these trees get cut down due to any reason, then very easily and with almost no efforts within few months you'll see new trees popping up. This wild pomegranate cultivation can be integrated into permaculture systems, offering benefits like improved soil health, pest resistance, and valuable fruit production. And these wild varieties can offer greater resilience to local pests and diseases than the cultivated varieties. So cool, no? That the wild variety is actually better than the variety that is cultivated by humans. How amazing is that? The roots of this tree can also help improve soil structure and drainage. And this tree, it can also be used as a living fence or as a protective boundary on the perimeter of your forest or property. Now, as is crucial with permaculture, this plant is an excellent companion plant. In fact, on my trail, look, I'll show you this tree. So, if you see here, we have a wild pomegranate growing on a small hill, and besides it, we have this river tamarind tree growing. At the back of this river tamarind, you can see loads of sheep sorrels, and to the right, this over here, this is winter jasmine climber. Then another wild pomegranate tree we have growing over here. The shrubs in the background are Mrs. Wilson's barley shrub, and the tree to the right, if you can see, that is purple bell tree. Let me show you a part of my trail. So this over here we have a baby pomegranate tree growing, and moving ahead we have this a large wild pomegranate growing here. This is a very large tree, and as you can see there are tiny pomegranates growing on this tree. In fact, there are still some flowers present. So pretty, isn't it? Wait, I'll show you the size of this tree. See, it must have been at least 20 feet high. It's a very big tree, and in the background, you can see all the pine trees. And underneath this large tree, see a small baby pomegranate tree is already growing. Along with this plant which you see, this is Asian meadowsweet. The flowers have dried off now, but the leaves will remain green. And this plant over here, this is winter jasmine. And following the winter jasmine, these are evergreen roses, and behind evergreen rose, see there is another wild pomegranate growing. You know what? I'll show you these flowers in bloom. Wait. Look, I had these scenes captured from early spring. Isn't this absolutely, I don't know, ethereal? Really? All these three flowers, Asian meadowsweet, winter jasmine, and evergreen rose, all three of them they bloom in late winters or early spring. So these scenes are from late winter, just on the precipice of early springs. Just have a look at these. It's so gorgeous, and imagine all these are growing just by themselves out in the wild. How amazing is this, isn't it? Spectacular, just absolutely spectacular. And to the right, we have evergreen roses growing on. I absolutely love these evergreen roses. See in the background, you can spot the yellow winter jasmine also. And and see what an amazing coincidence. This wild pomegranate tree, it seems even in late winters there were still these are okay, these are flower buds because these trees start producing buds in late winters, early spring. Yes. So continuing on our trail, this is another wild pomegranate tree. Then you can see here this is curly dock sorrel, sheep sorrel in the background, loads and loads of weed which grows naturally here, but I'm not interested in it. Moving along, this is Himalayan golden raspberry, and then one more wild pomegranate just growing here. Such a big tree. And as we move along, I'll show you the other side of this trail. Hold on. We have pine tree in the far end, and in front of the pine tree, this is a huge wild pomegranate present over here. And besides this wild pomegranate, this is Mrs. Wilson's barberry. To the left of this shrub, we have golden dewdrops plant, and in front and to the right, we have evergreen roses present. And then following that, this over here is again Himalayan golden raspberry. Continuing on the same trail, we have this silky oak tree growing over here, this golden dewdrops, and see to the left, tiny baby pomegranate growing. These are marigold flowers, and in the background, you can see river tamarind tree, purple bell tree, and to the left, this is agave plant. Such a beautiful scene, and in the background, you have these mountains. It's a bit cloudy and so windy because we have rain prediction in few hours time. All these flowers are oleanders. Continuing on the same path, we have Punjab figs growing over here, and in the background again one more huge pomegranate tree growing. This tree in the front, this is a wild goose plum growing out in the wild here, and following this again one more pomegranate tree. Just besides this, we have another fig tree growing. Let me try tasting a fig. These are mature now. Not so sweet. I like sweet. But it's perfect for pollinators. Following this fig tree, see again we have another pomegranate tree growing, and these, what you see here, these climbers are evergreen roses, and in the background, see the pomegranate tree. And then following these, again another pomegranate tree. So I really wasn't kidding when I said that at every few meters you'll find another pomegranate tree over here. And these scenes are of the same trail but in late winters. And you can see all the flowers are in bloom here. And over here we have this pomegranate tree growing flowers here. And this is that exact same portion of the trail right now in summers. So see, all those flowers have converted into berries. And here we have that pomegranate tree. This is sheep sorrel. I've done a video on sheep sorrel, you can check it out if you want. Look at this tree. All those flowers have converted to fruit. Isn't this so beautiful? This shrub surrounding this tree is Mrs. Wilson's barberry shrub. Look at this fruit, such a big pomegranate. And then just besides this pomegranate and Mrs. Wilson's shrub, we have this river tamarind tree growing in the corner and left. Here it is, a closer view. This is river tamarind tree, and this small baby tree you see growing here, this is tree of heaven. And in the background, this is Mrs. Wilson's, and behind that our pomegranate tree. After taking this turn by the river tamarind tree, we come across another pomegranate tree, and besides it, we have another river tamarind tree growing on. This is such a big pomegranate tree. These branches which you see in the background, all of this is this single tree. And onto these branches, this evergreen rose, which is a climber, it has climbed on. Actually, I have some scenes from late winter where this climber has bloomed. Let me show you those scenes. Look at this. Isn't this so beautiful? This is that exact same pomegranate tree and onto which this evergreen rose is growing. This is from late winters, this scene. And see in the background that river tamarind tree also you can see. So gorgeous, isn't it? I've made a video on evergreen rose. If you want, you can have a look at it. I've added timestamp in the description box and chapters. You can skip my voiceover and go straight to the music. It's such a beautiful video. I mean that video needs to be seen just for its scenes. Can flowers be described as angelic? These flowers are simply angelic. You really must have a look at that video. And these roses have climbed onto a pomegranate tree. In the background, you can see it's growing buds as it's winter season. And now I'll show you the same tree now in summers. Here it is. See the root structure of this tree? It's growing entirely on rocks. It's such a sturdy and resilient tree, it can grow even on rocks. See what a beautiful canopy this tree is forming. I love this type of structures, when the branches hang from the top. So beautiful. Look at the fruit. And all around this tree is accompanied by eucalyptus tree in the background, sheep sorrel, even weed which grows like grass here, evergreen rose and winter jasmine, and even cactus you'll see in few seconds. Apart from this, if you are growing this tree for commercial or domestic consumption, then you can even pair it with other trees like walnuts, apricots, plums, pears, and many other varieties of fruit trees. In my village, where my grandparents used to live, we used to have all these fruit trees. By we, I mean not me, but my grandparents. And I mean, they were grown for selling the fruits in the market. And along with these fruit trees, we often used to find these wild pomegranate trees growing out just like that by themselves. So cool, no? I love when various types of trees coexist on the same plane. It's so nice to see that. Like for me, it's so heartwarming. I don't know why. I sort of get all warm and gooey inside when I see various types of trees growing together. Oh god, I'm so weird. No doubt my family thinks I'm mental. Anyways, I really wish I had a small piece of land or like a small garden that I could just grow, and grow. I've never had a garden like ever in my life. All my life I've lived in apartment type of houses. I guess universe is saving it up to give it to me in abundance when the time comes. Maybe like when my turn will come, I'll simply be showered in blessings. It's good to stay delusional, I guess. Maybe instead of a small garden, I'll get a huge land and finally I'll be able to grow my forest. Oh well, keep on dreaming, I guess. Now, coming back to this plant, this tree is excellent for layering in your permaculture forest. So you can prune it and keep it small and then grow it under larger canopy trees, or else you can let this pomegranate tree grow tall and then in turn grow smaller plants and shrub underneath this tree. In a large permaculture design, I suppose it would be best suited for zones 3 and 4, which are lower maintenance areas that don't really require daily care. You can plant this tree on sunny slopes, edges of food forests, or as a perimeter hedge, and it can withstand snowstorms, drought, and hot and humid climate, everything. Such an all rounder tree. By carefully considering the specific needs of wild pomegranates and integrating them into a well designed permaculture system, this would make a wonderful addition to any food forest or ecosystem. These are so easy to grow, beautiful, provide versatile, tasty, and healthy food, provide shade, organic matter from falling leaves and roots, and are easy to chop and drop to build healthy soil. They are also super easy to propagate either from seeds or as hardwood cuttings. What an amazing plant! Incorporating this wild pomegranate into a permaculture system offers both resilience and abundance. Its ability to thrive in tough conditions, support pollinators, provide edible and medicinal yields, and serve multiple ecological functions make it a valuable addition to any sustainable landscape. Whether used as part of a food forest, a living fence, or a drought tolerant guild, or a picnic spot with your loved ones, or to just lie down alone underneath it with a book in your hand, or maybe just as a spot for bird watching. These wild pomegranate trees exemplify the permaculture principle of living and growing together, offering nourishment, habitat, and beauty all in one. By working with this hardy plant, we can deepen our connection to the natural world and take another step towards regenerative, self sustaining living. Aren't these beautiful? Such a spectacular fruit out in the wild. Such a beautiful scene. Large pomegranate tree flowing in the wind, and in the background, these high Himalayan mountains. So, I hope you liked exploring this tree with me and the wonderful ways in which this plant grows and nurtured in the wild here. And I hope I was able to show you how inspiring this plant is for me, for my food forest. So, and I hope I was able to inspire you as well. So, until next time, happy planting.